A big welcome to our channel. We are Team Crushing the Meta. Today we're here with Chris.
Hello guys.
Chris was our representative from the Netherlands to Worlds this year, so that's amazing. In this video we'll talk about his experience, also about the deck, his choices, and a lot of questions about Japan in general, about the Worlds. So you guys would like to, let's see, also enjoy what he enjoys.
Hopefully.
All right, so first of all, how did you feel when you was qualified towards? Because before that, you were multiple times close to getting towards a fourth place, as I remember from the year before that.
Yeah, for standard, also in Cologne.
Yeah.
Cologne,
Cologne.
I think. Yeah,
Cologne.
something like that. Sorry, I'm bad with the name. So Germany, exactly. So yeah, how I felt. I don't know. I think it's kind of weird and selfish to say, but I felt like when I saw the support for Vanguard, the clan which I qualified with, I felt like, okay, I think I can make a deck with it that can take me to Worlds. And well, when it happened, I was really, really happy. So, and I really liked the clan also at that time. So that also worked.
Still do.
I still do. Yeah. I still do. Not as much as I used to, but that's because I really played it way too much for Worlds. So I think that's the danger in playing it over too much. But yeah, I still like it really a lot. So.
Something I could never feel was Spike.
Yeah, I think I just need more. Yeah, I sometimes have to switch things up with plans, decks, playstyle. So
understandable. All right, so you had a nice trip to Japan. Of course, went first to Tokyo, then to Kyoto, and then went to Osaka, then back to Tokyo.
Yes.
So you made a kind of a vacation out of it, which is something that definitely most people would like to do if they have the time and, let's say, the energy for. But for Worlds, let's talk about Vanguard for now. You were qualified with Dark Regulars.
Yes.
Yet you chose a different deck.
Yeah.
Which is
Kagero.
Okay.
Yeah, and like I said, I took both with them because at the time I did not know what I wanted to play. And I think, well, most people would say that the regular was the better choice to pick for Worlds. But like I said, I just play tested it so much, and during the play testing, the deck didn't work with me anymore. So I was like, I can do two things. I can hope for a deck, or I can play with a deck which hopefully works with me and I can end up going really far. Or I can take a deck which is still close to my heart because I started with Kagero to play competitive Vanguard and just enjoy the day overall, despite if I win or lose. So I think when I was in the line to hand out my deck recipe, I just decided, you know what, let's just take Kagero. So that's why.
Smart choice.
Yeah.
And because there were some times where you had to think about Ezel as one of the decks, why you chose for the deck you chose. Talking about Ezel in Worlds as in this year and last year, and still one of the top contenders. We have the ban list coming up, so we will see how that would look like if they will like to put Ezel down a little bit. But Ezel as a matchup for Kagero, because it was like the most decks that you didn't want to face, right?
Yeah, because in the Netherlands we do not have a lot of Ezel players, so I only play tested.
We don't have meta players in general.
Well, yeah,
a little bit.
But
because they like the clan, it's not just because they pick it up because it's meta.
Exactly. Yeah. Only a very few people pick a clan up because it's meta. But so I only play tested against goals like twice, thanks to Kevin from Zwolle, from the guys from Speed Toy. So I really appreciated that. But during the playtesting against golds, it was very difficult with Kagero. Okay. So, and that was the reason why I thought, Dark Regular could have been a better choice because it has a little bit more better matchup, but at the same time, you don't know what you're going to see at Worlds. And it's possible that, yes, there may be a lot of gold players, but it's also possible that you only be paired up against one of them or maybe two. And
sometimes you only see one or two in the top 8 and you don't see any before that.
Exactly.
And sometimes you see them like 4 times.
Exactly. Worlds is a very strange place for that matter. So, I mean, look at last year when Giese won. Megacolony.
Yeah, Megacolony won.
So,
Giese took third place. Still amazing to have Kevin do that.
Exactly.
Okay, so talking about those decks that we have seen in Worlds, what were your matchups? Because we had a Swiss of 7 rounds, right?
6.
6 rounds. Oh, the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. 6 rounds, then top 8.
Yeah.
And all of them were best of 1.
Yes, exactly. Okay. So the first round, I have no idea, because my opponent had a really tough time against the alarm clock and he lost. So apparently, according to my friends from Vanguard Insider, he heard from his friend W Slasher that his teammate
connections.
Yeah, connections. He overslept, so he was not on time for the first round. So
he was afraid.
Or maybe
he was just afraid of the Kageros and the people from the Netherlands. He said, "Oh shit, my opponent's from the Netherlands." Shit, no.
Yeah, it's possible. So no, I don't know what he was gonna play. Round 2, I played against Great Nature, and that's also the match who was on the stream from I think the Bushroad channel.
Yes, the link will be in the description section below. It's a really interesting match, until actually the very end, we were just sitting there and think, "Oh shit, Chris, what would you do? What would you do?" Just die, I guess. Like the Great Nature player played also very good.
Yeah,
but a little bit unlucky with like his grade 3, right?
Grade 3 right. He chose a different first stride than I would imagine or expected. So overall, some curious plays, but really, well, it was still strong and suitable for him. So that was really cool.
And he had a very good talent in having PGs in hand.
Yeah,
so,
that was amazing. Yeah. So,
okay.
No, it was really good close game.
But definitely a match to see. I will put the link for the stream in the description section below. Also the time on when the game was played, because of course the stream is very long.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was the second game against Great Nature, an interesting match. You won that, so you were 2-0.
2-0, yes.
Then you went into game 3.
Yes, game 3 I won against the Derek Dow.
Okay.
With his gold paladin. It's funny because I saw him sometime in videos of WCC, and I already thought he looks really nice. And then you meet him, and he's even nicer. So that was really cool to see. Really cool guy, just very friendly. Was a really fun match, very close also. But unfortunately, I lost that one. So round 4, I had to play, and I have to look up his name because I'm really terrible with names. So before I butcher someone's name by accident, let me see. I think I went up against Henk Han Wang, if I pronounce it correct. He's the guy who...
He's from the US, right?
Yeah, he's from Texas. He's the guy who was second 2 years ago at Worlds against Jesus with his
nice.
Royals.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
Really? Oh, okay.
So I went against the Kagero player at that time.
Okay.
So with my Kagero against his Megacolony Giese.
That
was a really...
That was a tough match.
It was a really interesting and long match. Really long match.
Oh, hopefully or happily they didn't stream that one. So otherwise it would have been a long ass match.
Yeah, I have never been so long on 0 damage in a match. So that was really weird, but I won that one.
Okay.
So I ended up 3-1 at that time. In round 5, I went up against Jeremy, the guy who played Grand Blue and who ended up being second. Was also a close match, but unfortunately I lost that one. And so I went up 3-2, and the last round was against Mr. Simon, the Gold Paladin player who ended up winning it all. And I unfortunately lost also there.
So if you have won that...
I think if I won one of these matches that I lost, I would have been in top 8.
Yeah, and then also the whole top 3 would have been very different, because you would have kicked one of them out.
Yeah.
Okay, so pretty interesting actually, because it did change a lot, and also you losing to
the number 1, 2, and number 3 for world. So I mean, it's not something to be said about, right?
No, definitely not. Especially because also it's people say sometimes, oh, it's good for your first time at Worlds. I don't believe in that. I believe if it's your first or 10th, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
We from the Netherlands are very happy with what you achieved in Worlds, and also because as in we see how you progressed as a player because you are a little bit newer than some of others. You are doing really amazing, and also seeing you at the top tables multiple times, it still feels good. And also it's nice to have multiple good players in the Netherlands to play against.
True.
So for us, it's also good to have you in our community, of course. Always a nice guy to have. Okay, so let's get a little bit to the deck. Talk a little bit about the choices, because on our channel, Crushing the Meta, multiple people ask about Kagero, and I thought, what's better timing to do it than afterwards with one of our best players who went towards. So playing Overlord, as it was one of the first decks you started with, like the Legend, right?
Yeah,
the Legend deck.
Of Kai,
you started with that, and now you're taking Overlords you took Overlords towards, and you did amazing with it. Let's talk about the deck choices, because I could understand that some of your deck choices are based on, let's say, playing with the deck multiple times, but also just units that feel good and comfortable playing those.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the lineup a little bit.
Yeah.
First of all, of course, we have the number 8, Chris, and his
promo
from Worlds.
Exactly. And I could have taken my playmat from Worlds, but I was like, I'm gonna do a Kagero deck profile about Overlord, so I mean, it can't miss. So let's just get started. So
we are happy to see that, because it was kind of a gift from the group.
Exactly.
So it's also pretty nice to see.
Exactly. So that's why I like this one over the World's playmat. So I'm gonna just start with the Grade 3 lineup. So I play 3 of the Grade. I'm not going to explain all the skills, because you can pause the video, read it, or search them up.
Yeah, and if you really want us to explain more, then tell us in the comment section below. Yeah. And we'll try to do a different video on explaining the cards and how to use them or stuff like that.
Yeah. So basically the reason why I play this at 3 is because you want a good first Grade 3 ride, which gives you a marker. And in the case that
pressure your opponents.
Exactly. In case you have to stride, you also want his additional skill with Neoflame to be able to get additional power and to be given a crit to when needed. So that's why I played it at 3. I play 1 of the Dragonic Overlord. I think this is the Koshin version. Yeah. I really like this art. So the reason I play 1 is because of the Grade 1 Lizard General Conroe, you can search out any Overlord you want.
You could always get them to your hand if needed.
Exactly, and if you are going first and you don't find Neoflame, you can say, oh, alright, I'm gonna just ride this one.
Put a lot of pressure on your opponent.
Exactly.
Forcing them into PGing, or at least using a heal if they play 20k shield heal in the early game. And if they don't, with the Force 2 marker, they would regret it, because they would let the first one go through, and then they would have to guard the second one as well. Yeah. And sometimes people, even in Worlds, because of the nerves, they make those small mistakes, and that costs them the rounds sometimes. So definitely a smart choice, especially because you can search them out.
Exactly. So, and I thought 1 was enough. In the case I don't ride this one, it's always a nice beat stick.
Yes, definitely, because it's 23k with a Soul Blast.
Exactly. So then I use 3 of the Cross. Pretty standard.
No reason to add a 4th one.
Some people like 4th, some people don't even like the Grade. I like 3 of them because I always find it when I need it. Well, almost always find it. So that's the reason why I just used 3. And I use 2 of the End. And I know a lot of people won't agree with me with only 2, but for me it worked. And that's the thing about decks, you have to make it your own and play with your own style. So I used only 2 because I noticed I only use it when I'm doing the Legion. So there's always 1 either in my drop zone or in my deck, or maybe 1 in damage and 1 elsewhere. So
the nice thing about Legioning is you could always stride with him early on to have him already in your drop zone.
Exactly.
If you draw into him and that was the last one, you have the second one in the damage zone, you could just call on top of it, and then you have it, or use Conroe's skill to get something else to your hand, like a big stick, and then put it in a drop zone. Especially with the Legion mechanic, during your main phase, you could put him into the drop zone to legion him back. It would be, of course, perfect if you already have him in your deck, because then you would put more triggers to your deck, and it always work the most efficient. But I do understand having the 2 copies of him, and if you haven't seen him enough, you could always like take out the, let's say, the beat stick or something else to put
this one to make
more copies.
Exactly. And
play 3/3.
I know a lot of people also like to write this one as their first grade 3 write, but I didn't, because at that time you don't want to have 4 or less cards in your hand to use his restat ability.
Sound like a, let's say, a waste of resources.
Yeah.
Well, you could do it like this.
Like this, or with the normal overlord. So
also works. Yeah. But it's nice to have the option. I mean, even if you want to write into him as a first write target, it would still work, because you could always then ride on top of him for a second marker, soul blast him out, and then you have him in the drop zone.
Exactly.
So it does work.
2 was enough for me. So onto the grade 2s, I play 3 of the Neoflame to use them with the grade.
Why only 3?
I played it at 4, but the thing was that I did feel that I missed something to make the deck even stronger, and sometimes it's possible even at 4 that you don't see him at all.
Yeah, but 3 is the same.
Exactly, and 3 is less of space than 4 in your grade 2 lineup.
Okay.
So if you miss it, it's not terrible, or if you miss this one and you have this one, this doesn't do as much anymore. And this is early, when you have this in your hand, this is early perfect, because you can call to the rear guard to just start
guard
bashing,
with it, and
intercept when needed. And with the grade, you ride it, it comes back from the drop zone. So, and during your stride, it can give you Vanguard, even if it's on a stride, additional 5k, and the choice to counterblast to give an additional crit. So that's the reason I like it. Like I said, I played it at 4, but in this case, for Worlds, I thought it was necessary to play it at 3. So the staple, Berserk Dragon, is too good not to play at 4. So
this guy needs an SP. He need to create him in kind of an SP kind of thingy.
In Japan, they made a promo from him.
Yeah.
And that one looks really good. I saw it in one of the shops.
Wasn't it Japan or was Korea or something? I don't remember.
I don't know. I saw one of them in the shop. It was like 45 euros. So no. For a Japanese card, I'm never allowed to use, so no. So I play one of these. The reason is that my Berserk Dragon is the only, besides striding, is the only other only unit that can retire, and sometimes I felt like in order to get Blaze off in the stride turn, it's important to retire something from your opponent, and also his Soul Blast to check top 7 to add an overlord to hand is also pretty important, because I'm sometimes really unlucky with getting the right grades. So in this case I was like, it's also nice to have this one, so you have 5 ideal right targets. And in the case that you don't get counterblast for the Berserk Dragon, this one is still...
That's the reason why I put them also next to each other.
Yeah.
A lot of people, while playing against Kagero, they really don't want to give you the counterblast for the extra draw, but sometimes because they don't want you to retire the starter for some reason. And that's when this guy actually comes in handy. Let's say the search power, the soul blasts are right, and of course sometimes even you want to soul blast. Like if you ride into the Neo Flame, sometimes if you have to, you could always soul blast them out, and you don't really have issues with soul in this deck. So.
No, and even if you
still play the crit.
Yeah, you play this crit, so sometimes you want this crit out of your soul, so you are able to legion it back to the deck. So that's also a reason why I choose this at 1. The reason it is at 1, I don't like the card that much.
Yeah,
so
it's understandable. It's like a 5th Berserk Dragon.
Yeah, only it
costs
more. Yeah, Soul Blast 2 is quite hefty, but sometimes necessary to do.
Yeah.
So I play 2 of the Dragon Armored Knight. It's a beat stick.
This is something even on the stream that people were like, oh damn, he plays that card. The power that he gets does help, especially if you put like an 8k behind him, which makes a perfect column. So it's understandable, it still works. Although some people, like, this is the card that you could easily take out to put anything else if you want to.
That's true.
But I do know that you like him a lot as a beat stick.
Yeah, especially in the early games.
Yeah. Alright.
So, and the final grade 2 is Wipe and Strike deck cut, if I read it upside down. I only played it one. It's handy if you are using the Legion, because it can give your Vanguard, well, the end, a battledore effect. Didn't come up as often as I wanted, also because Kagero is a counterblast heavy deck. It's sometimes difficult to have the counterblast available for this one. So
it's like an extra. If you would like to use him, you could always use him, and you could also like sometimes give you the extra soul if needed, although I don't really see it necessary most of the time. But still, it does make sometimes your opponents guard a little bit more. And also it's set to the end of turn, right?
End of turn. So with the Legion, it's like 3 attacks with the battledore effect. Good
so
luck with that.
It's definitely very effective.
Exactly. So onto the grade 1s. I played 2 of the latest PG. I use it mainly also for the drop and discard skill.
On the right.
You're on right. So that's really good. And you as a Kagero, you do want enough crits in your deck. So that's why I was like, I'll put it at 2. I played 3 of the Conroe. This is one which you can search.
One more thing about this, from my interacts, it's also nice to soul blast him or her.
Exactly.
Because then you already have a PG in the drop zone. It's definitely a good first right target.
Exactly. Well, Conroe is the search one for find your overlord that you desire, and when he's on place, if you have an overlord Vanguard, you can kill him to counter charge 2 till the end of turn. So when you're attacking multiple times, you can counter charge multiple times. So
when you talk about the overlord archetype, cards like these, it's nice to have them in this form because these cards will always be played. There will come time maybe where we have a better like one from B. But most of the time these are pretty good because they still search you and give you the counter charge. And it's always good to have these cards in your deck. It's also the reason why you could play multiple different grade 3s with Overlord and their card name.
Exactly.
And you could get away with that by playing Conroe.
And the reason I don't play 4 is because I only have 3 in this art. So. And the space for grade 1 is also really tight. So.
Especially because you have the 2 PGs in there.
Exactly. So I played 3 of the Saber Dragonoot. Ideal grade 1 right if you are second. Kill itself in order to draw one. So it's a nice booster. So that's pretty nice.
Also the nice thing about him is the same as the next one, which is Armo, I think.
Also free Armo.
It's you could always attack into a Vanguard and still get his skill off if something retires. And that will give you the opportunity to first attack with the high power field and then lose that to get more cards to your hand defensively. So always good to have that in going. Of course this card is better because he also gives you the counter charge.
And gets additional power from boost. So.
But this is definitely a very good first right target, especially in premium. In standard, people would guard him most of the time. But in premium, people actually let him through most of the time.
Damage.
And they don't want to guard that earliest.
Alright, so this is the last of the grade 1s I played. The reason I play this is because of the Gold Paladin matchup. When you have to stride, you do want to be able to access the blaze state, and this is one of the most efficient ways to do. And the thing is also, if in case I had to go against Tachikaze with their sweeper Akukanto, if I use this one, even though they don't have 3 or more, and they have a sweeper with 3 gauge, they can still kill.
Because they can't target it.
Exactly. So that's the reason I also felt
it's like their mechanic is used against them.
Exactly. So onto the trigger lineup. I played 2 draw PGs. I know a lot of people don't agree with it because Kagero needs to play 12 crits, but for me, I felt like I needed a little bit more of draw power because of all the fast-going games, and it did work really good for me. As you can see in the stream. because when it goes into the damage zone, it gives you additional power and a drop a card, so you can guard even better. So
it also gives you the space in your grade 1 lineup to have like tech cards in there.
Exactly.
Because if you didn't play these, you would definitely not play him.
Exactly. So that's the reason I played it. Well, as you can imagine, we played 10 crits, 4 of course of her, because you want to put it in soul and give additional power to your Vanguard.
Heals.
I played 3 of this one.
3 on 1.
Yeah.
Understandable.
Yeah.
It's always good to have this, especially in the early game against different decks.
Yeah.
Well, we don't agree with this, of course, because look at this, a full art, and then you have that one in there. So
that one is missing, but well.
Let's cover it up a little bit.
Yeah,
no,
so.
3 on 1 works. It's kind of a lot better than 2 on 2 for some reason.
Yeah. Also because you don't necessarily want to use the skill to bind them, because you maybe want to put them back with the Legion. But that sometimes it's possible that you do need just that one counter charge in order to
get into that turn.
Yeah, for your defense or even for your offense turn. So that's why I just liked one of them. And of course, for the starter, we play the shiny one.
Yeah.
If
you play Conroe, then you kind of get Berserk Dragon less effective off, because if you use him, then you have to wait with Conroe 1 turn if you have 1 counter blast.
Yeah.
And Undux is just nice because he is so easy to get off, like the draw in the early game, which is good. Because sometimes
this one will also won't get off, so that's the reason why I was like,
exactly,
we're gonna go for this one. So I'm gonna go quickly through the strides. So I play 3 of the damage strides.
Understandable.
4 is just too much, and 2 is.
When you play 2, you need the third one sometimes if you get into that later game.
Yeah, I play 2 of the Purge. I didn't really come up, but it's always nice to be able to ping damage to your opponent and
have the extra drive check. Sometimes they don't give you counter blast, or you're up to your opponent's up to so much damage and you're like chilling on 0 damage or something. You could still use him for your advantage to get back.
And against the Geese matchup, it was nice because I didn't get any counter blast. So 3 of Ziegenberg, always a nice. It's a little less useful.
Give you more certain.
It's always if you have the counter blast, you can always make sure that you get the 2 attacks instead of with Dumjit. It's possible that they deny you the second attack, but
Dumjit is most of the time better, but it's nice to have the option to go into him.
Exactly, Dumjit can get the power of the sentinels in your drop zone, and this one is always 28. So that's the reason, but still really good. So that's why I like it. Played 1 of this one. It's always nice to have 3 strides, so you can just ride and make more markers. It's always cool. So this was really nice in the Giza matchup because it became a really long game.
And because also sometimes you have to ride into multiple grade 3s to restand your Vanguard, and it's nice to just ride and stride without having to pay the cost for striding.
And also this could have been a nice first stride if you're going against Gold Paladin and their board is just flooded. So just you can kill all the units. Play 1 Drachma. Didn't really use it, but he was nice, and I didn't know of a better pick for that.
Drachma is in Kagero less used because you already retire most of your strides and stuff. And it's sometimes if your opponent kind of forget about him, like do not keep a grade 3 in hand or something, you could from that moment on you could really do a lot of damage with him, especially in this deck because you don't really need to keep on striding. You could Legion, you could just use your V grade 3s to do a lot of damage to your opponent.
It isn't bad if you don't kill someone with this, because with your Legion after that you can kill them if they are this skill is if they're on grade 1, so to say. They're dead the turn after. So G-Guards to the Nile Griffin. I know most people would like to play this at 3. I didn't feel the need for that. Yeah.
They had the third one?
I didn't feel the need for it, so because I played something else. 2 Absalom.
Huge shield.
Huge shield, necessary also. Did come up often. 1 of this, to be flare. Just in case of the dark regular matchup. It could be very handy.
The Royal Paladin matchup would also be very effective. but you don't really see him that often, and people sometimes don't even give you the opportunity to go into him if they're smart, because this only works if you attack Vanguard.
True.
And you also need a counterblast.
Yeah. So. And to really drop some grade 3, so it's a very specific condition, but it's nice to have, especially against a good arc regular match. And I also played one of this.
Big chicken.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just nice to be able to kill something and also make combos less effective from your opponent. So that's the reason why I played one of these. Most people didn't see this one coming, so that was nice.
Really?
Yeah.
Didn't expect them?
Yeah, because it's not really strong. It's like, because you have to flip with G-guard, you have to soul blast, and you can only target a grade 1 or less in rest position, so it's not really the strongest G-guard.
No, but I think most people in Kagero need at least to put one of them in there.
Yeah, most people decide to
take them out to put another denial curve.
Yeah, exactly. So,
okay.
Well, of course, I play mostly Force 2. That's, I do have Force 1 also with me at all times, so like this. But Force 2 is almost 90% the mark you go to. Yeah. It's just that good in Kagero. And last but not least,
the Lucky Charm.
Yeah. Certain victory, Lucky Charm. So, or so Simon told me. So that's also really nice. So yeah.
Not think too much about the format what people are playing, because in Worlds, as in any other tournaments, people still play sometimes a rogue deck or what they like, or as Chris said, like when it came down to the final choice between Darks and Kagero, he chose for the deck that he felt more comfortable with, also the decks he started with, so it felt just more in his comfort zone to play Kagero.
And perhaps if I ever make it back against at Worlds, maybe I will make the decision of playing the best deck, but for me, first time Worlds is like, it's special for yourself. So play with the deck that you feel most comfortable with, or have a special connection with, or you like the most, something like that. I noticed that a lot of people over there did also do that, so there could have been a lot more Gold Paladin players, but people decided to play the thing that they liked. So that was really cool to see also.
Yeah. And also you meet a lot of cool people from different countries, so try to enjoy that without getting frustrated because of getting a miracle heal or playing against a miracle heal or not getting that crit on time or stuff like that. Just enjoy your time. Also Japan is an amazing country to enjoy by itself. Also Chris traveled through Japan. I think that was the second or third time you were in Japan. Second time. Yeah. So you already know, of course we know a lot about the culture from anime and stuff because we're interested. But also it's nice to see people there and also like a lot of stuff about Japan. Also for some of us that is far away, a lot of things feel different.
True.
So it's nice to have that. Also sometimes your favorite drink, your favorite food, try that out.
Exactly.
Just make a let's say a nice vacation out of it, including having Worlds. So yeah.
True. Very true.
Yeah. So it was nice to have you on our channel yet again, and it's amazing to have such an amazing player in the Netherlands.
Thank you very much, and I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Definitely. Thanks again. Until next time.